Hello everybody, welcome back to Beating the Odds. It is Friday, December 27th, 2024. We are back with our best bets of the day. If you're new to the channel, my name is Zach and welcome to Beating the Odds. Let's recap yesterday's results. So yesterday, had a weird day, 3-3 yesterday on the video. Got to watch a putrid Thursday night football game. Holy shit, that was fucking terrible. I feel bad for the Bears fans. I feel bad for Seattle. And I feel bad for the entire country who watched this game, including me. We had the under 42.5. Thank God that was a win. We had two props. Zach Charbonnet should have gone over, but they just didn't run with them in the second half. Odunze was missed at least 3 times by Caleb Williams. Wide open in the middle of the field. Over his head a couple times. We had 20-yard touchdown get called back for that, but it is what it is. Toledo +7. That game was awesome. That game was so freaking sick. College football sweep, by the way, 2-0. Toledo, that was an amazing game. We covered the number, and they won outright. Should have just bet the money line. And with the over 52.5, Arkansas State and Bowling Green, that one was over by like 10 minutes left of the third quarter. We had already made money off of that before the 5-minute mark of the third quarter, so you love to see it. Riders +11.5, that was an L. Overall for the year, 143 and 100 in college football. Looking great there. NBA, 98 and 74. NHL, we had not have any games just in the NHL, but overall we'll take it all day long. And we have 3 college football plays for you guys today. And as you all know, we've been hot in college football. We have 2 NBA plays that I like, 2 NHL plays that I like as well. But if you're new to the channel, haven't already, hit that subscribe button, like this video, notification bell so you never miss a pick. We post these best bet videos every single day. We're going for 15,000 subscribers. So I'm excited to have y'all here. Let's go win together today. Let's go make some money. So let's jump into play number 1, which is going to be Texas Tech money line versus Arkansas. This can basically be the opt-out bowl. If you guys haven't seen like the opt-out report for these teams, it's literally, I think on Texas Tech, they have, looks like 22 people who have opted out. And Arkansas has like 19. It's like 40 people have opted out of this game, which is nuts. And almost all of them are for the transfer portal, which I understand. They've got some good talent, but they aren't like top of like their overall conferences. But a lot of the main guys are still playing. And I think Texas Tech gets this dub because right now, this line has moved like a motherfucker. And I mean a motherfucker. This game right here, it started out at +2.5 for Texas Tech. And has moved to -1.5. This is a 3-point swing, and in bowl games, you've got to look at the swings. And specifically, I love the Texas Tech money line here. You could bet the -1.5 because I think, first off, the sharp money's on it. There's more main guys for Arkansas that have opted out, and I like their offense better. And on top of that, they've really they've moved. There's been a lot of line movement, and line movement typically is a nice sign as to where you should bet. So I like Texas Tech here, my line versus Arkansas. I may win this game outright. Next, I'm going with some chalk. We're going Syracuse -16.5 versus Washington State. This is an obvious public play, obvious square play, but in college football, during the bowl season in particular, you've got to be looking at opt-outs. And the biggest thing about this game is that John Mateer for Washington State, who, honestly, if he was on a better team, could be in the Heisman discussion because he's been so good offensively. He's opted out, and he's going to, I forgot where he's going. I think he's going to Oklahoma. Going to Oklahoma. And he ain't playing. And almost all their offensive line has opted out, Washington State. And their defensive guys have opted out. And their defense was one of the worst in the entire country. Syracuse has lost a couple backups. They still have their main players. And the fact that this line started like 9.5 has moved all the way up to 16.5, and Syracuse has a lot of momentum coming off the win against Miami. The vibes in that program are through the roof, and that's why there's not a lot of transfers out of that team. And Washington State has lost their main guy with John Mateer. They have horrible defense. The Syracuse team total on this game is like 38, which means that they think they're going to score 38, 41 points. If that's the case, I think Syracuse puts up 45 points this game, wins this game easily. So give me Syracuse -16.5. I bought it down to 16.5. I like the 17 number. 17.5 though feels very, very scary with the hook. So I moved down to 16.5. It's still -125. I would do that. You can do that on FanDuel. It's still like -125 on FanDuel, so I'd roll with that. And then we'll get you right back into picks in just a minute. But guys, we have 4 members only best bets today on our website, ddmbets.com/picks. 2 in college football, 1 in the NBA, 1 in the NHL. Over the last week, we've hit 63% of our members only best bets. Become a member at zdmbets.com/picks. Website is linked in the pinned comment below. And let's get back to the picks. And we're going to go, as far as college football goes, we're going to go to Vandy plus 2.5 versus Georgia Tech. Diego Pavia won a 5th year in court, which is mightily impressive. I don't know how he pulled that off, but he got it done. And I think that this is going to be a nice little, for Vanderbilt, a nice little continuation in next year, and a very strong cap off for this year. Now, there's not a lot of opt-outs per se on either team here when you're looking at it. I mean, there's really not a lot of opt-outs here that really matter on either side here. However, I think with Diego Pavia winning that 5th year, I think it gives this Vanderbilt team a ton of momentum. Vanderbilt's also an SEC team, Georgia Tech an ACC team. If you really have me between SEC and ACC, you really got to go SEC here, especially if most of the main players are still playing in this game, which is the case for Vandy. So I like Vandy to win this game outright. I'm going to take the plus 2.5 just for gambling purposes, but if you want to get frisky with it, the money line's at plus 118. I would go with the money line here. I'm going to bet the spread. But if you want to get frisky with it, bet the money line plus 118. The sharp money is on Vanderbilt today. The public is all over Georgia Tech. And I think a lot of Georgia Tech is really just like playing in a shit conference. Now, I know what I said about Syracuse, but Syracuse is playing against a worse conference. And on top of that, all their main guys are out. When it's even, which I think it will be today, Vandy's going to win this game. They're going to win it easily. Give me Vanderbilt plus 2.5 versus Georgia Tech. Next, we're going to jump to the association. We're going Nuggets plus 2.5 versus the Cavs. I really like the Nuggets here in this game. The sharp money's on them. They got kind of embarrassed against the Suns, lost by double digits. This is a bounce back game for them. The Cavs, they're coming to Denver, which is big. So there's going to be a little elevation. I think there's going to be. I think the Nuggets match up relatively well with them. Plus, Jokic isn't like a rim runner per se. Like he's not going to be trying to dunk, and you don't need a lot of rim protection when you're like he's not going to require. The way you defend him is not by being a big-time rim protector and shot blocker. You do that by basically playing him like a gigantic guard. And I don't know if Mobley and or Allen can pull it off. I think that Jokic has the matchup advantage here. I don't really see who's going to guard Jamal Murray. Michael Porter Jr. is still a good three-point shooter. Aaron Gordon is a very versatile defender. He'll be able to guard Evan Mobley very, very well. And I think that the Nuggets have the defensive guards to be able to stop Garland and Mitchell. Plus, right now, 38% of the bets, 45% of the money is on the Nuggets here. So I'm going to roll with the Nuggets here, plus 2.5 versus the Cavs here today. Next, with the Clippers minus 4.5 versus the Warriors. This game, this is an obvious letdown spot for Golden State. I think that they're just going to be, they're not going to be as up as they were against Lakers, and they lost in really tough fashion. I mean, that was an awesome game, though. But even so, and plus this is one of those games where you just hold your nose and bet it. The Clippers should not be favored in this game. This is a Vegas trap, being like, look how good the Warriors looked against the Lakers. Bet the Warriors plus 4.5, and everyone does it, and the Clippers win by 20. I don't think they win by 20 today, but I think they win by 8 to 9 points. They have the defensive guards to match up with Steph, and outside of Steph, there's not really a lot of good playmakers on Golden State. So give me Golden State here. Give me the Clippers, over Golden State minus 4.5 versus the Warriors here today. Next, I'm going to go with, next thing we're going to jump to is we're going to jump to the NHL. I like the under 6.5, Columbus and Boston. Columbus has been over team this whole year, but Boston's been the epitome of an under team. And the sharp money is very, very heavy on the under here. I'm rolling with under 6.5. Boston plays great defense, has great goaltending. I think they'll be able to shut down Columbus. Next one, the over 5.5, Chicago and Buffalo. This game makes no sense. Why I'm going over here because they're both under teams. But there's times in the NHL when you have two under teams, there's a lot of rest. They've been game planning how to score on each other because the defenses are like the main attraction here. And this game, I think, goes over barely. I think it's like a 3-2 game the whole way, and then there's an empty netter at the end. So give me the over 5.5, Chicago and Buffalo in this game. So guys, go lock in those picks. Let's go win together. Let's go make some money. I'll see you all tomorrow.